Okay, this is the bell curve that I was talking about. I know y'all probably can't see it perfect. There's a little bit of a glare. They call it a normal distribution, okay? So it's just this little curve. Do y'all see these percentages? They all add up to 100. That should make sense, right? It should add up to 100%. You have to memorize these three numbers: 34, 13.5, and 2.35. Let me turn that music off for a second. I can't handle them singing in the background. And you notice like it's on the same as the other side. So they're saying that 68% of whatever you're researching will be in this middle part. Do y'all understand that? And then if you go here's your mean. This is basically what we did in the last class. You have your mean that's in the very middle. And if you go one standard deviation out, then you make it to this line. This right here is where 13.5% of the population will be. And this little bit right here, this is where 2.35% falls. And it's the same on this side, but it's the lower end. One deviation out, 2 deviations, 3 deviations. That's why we already learned standard deviation. So today we're going to use that, and we'll draw this bell curve. And you'll be asked questions, and you'll know, like once you draw and you'll label this with your numbers down here, you'll label it with your mean. You'll go your numbers 1, 2, and 3 standard deviations, and you can say 34% of the population fall between such and such and such, like whatever those numbers are. That's all we're doing. We're just adding this to what we did last time, and it's called the normal distribution. Let's see. I guess we'll just dive in to a problem. Okay. Here is our normal curve, and they said this bar graph gives the weights of a population of female brown bears. The red curve shows how they are normally distributed about the mean, which is 115 kilograms. So they tell me right here in the very middle, if I was to draw this line down, that's at 150 kilograms. What percent of female brown bears weigh between 100 and 129? Y'all, we should already know this. Do y'all remember what I said it was?
68. Wait, it's 34 and 34, right?
34 and 34. But hold on, they do this a little bit different. They want me to find out. In this range. Let's see. Let's just add it up. What's this number right here? They're doing it a little bit different.
100.
It goes up to 40. Look, on your bar graph. 42. It's saying just what falls between, what did I say, 100 and 130. We were making this way more difficult than it is. Just read a bar graph. What falls between 100 and to 130? So you said this bar graph goes up to 42. What do these two bar graphs go up to? It looks like it's at 23 or something, and this one looks to be at the same thing, 23. So we have 42 plus 23 plus 23. What falls between that? Hold on. Yes. We have, if we add those numbers, 42 plus 23 plus 23 is 88. All right. So we're not right now. I'm just going on with the lesson. So they just want us to read the bar graph. What falls between here and here? I think that's like a science question on the ACT. Don't they give y'all graphs and you just have to like read it? Does everybody understand that? We haven't even moved on to what I was talking about at the beginning. That's it. Just read your bar graph. It says approximately what percent of female brown bears weigh less than 120? So what you're going to do is, where's the 120 mark? Right here? So you're going to say what falls less than 120. So I'm going to add up all three of those bars, right? So I would add up 42. I think that's 23. And what do we think this one is? 5. So what is 42 plus 23 plus 5? Anybody?
I don't know. What are we doing?
Well, you'll just have to start from now.
70.
Yep. So it's, they got 71, but it's close to that.
Why is that not mad?
I'm I'm just videoing for those that aren't here, so I'm just trying to keep going in the video. So it's about 70%. That's all I'm doing. Just from here below, I added up the bar graph. Okay? Are we good with that? All right. The next thing we're going to do is sketch our normal curve. There's only like 3 types of questions, so we're on the second one. Okay.
Worksheet, Ms. Casey?
Yes, in just a second. And a study. We'll start our study guide as well.
Are we doing one like at the second? Okay, I was just making sure.
For a population of male European eels, the mean body length and one positive and negative standard deviation is shown below. Sketch a normal curve showing the lengths at 1, 2, and 3 standard deviations from the mean. So, no, what is the mean? What is the mean? It's 15.7. So I'm going to go ahead, let me get my paper out, and I'm going to draw a normal curve the best way that I can. So this is your normal curve, right? Not so great at the left end. Okay, the mean goes in the middle, just like not yesterday, but whatever day we had with the x's. Okay, and that's, I said, is 15.7. Is everybody good with that? Now, my next line drawn, this includes a good portion of our graph. What percentage did we say? 34%, right? Look, right here. Y'all have to memorize this, boys that just walked in. 34%, 13.5%, and 2.35%. Y'all have to know those percentages. I'm not going to give that to you on your midterm.
That's going to be for like all the graphs?
That's going to be for like what we do for the rest of today. Yeah. So you may have a question where they give you a bar graph and it's just that simple. It's just reading your bar graph. But when they tell us to do a normal distribution, these are our percentages. 34%, 13.5%, and 2.35%. Okay, I'm writing all that down. Now, so then it tells me if I go up a standard deviation, this is in my problem. What's my next number that it is for my standard deviation? And then if I went down a standard deviation, it's 12.9. So I'm going to write that on my graph. 18.5, and then I said 12.9. Okay, what percentages fall in here again, y'all? We just said it again. 34% and 34% of the fish are that body length. Then it says, now I need to go out 2 and 3 standard deviations. What did I go up by? Can somebody subtract that number and tell me what is 18.5 minus 15.7? Like, what was that standard deviation?
2.8.
2.8. So I need to go up 2.8 again. And then down 2.8. What is 18.5 plus 2.8? 21.3. You have my other calculator, right, Reagan? Okay. Well, I mean, you can use it today, but just... Yes, then I didn't need it back. What's 12.9 minus that? What did we say, 2.8? 10.1. So what percentage falls in here and here? 13.5. And then what's my last standard deviation? I have to go out that 2.8 again. So, and this is how you draw it. You're going to have to draw this normal curve, and this is how you label it. Bless you. 24 what? 24.1. What were you adding 2.8? What'd you get?
24.6.
I think it's 0.1. What's 21.3 plus 2.8? You got 24.1 too?
Oh, I
Okay.
got 21.8.
Okay. What's 10.1 minus that 2.8? This will be our last over here. 7.3. Okay, and what percentage falls in here and here? 2.35. That's why you have to know that. We're going to use all these numbers. So does everybody understand? Our graph looks the same every time, except for the numbers at the bottom. This is my mean. And then these other numbers are 1, 2, and 3 standard deviations. That's what we learned in the last class. So is it kind of coming together? So now they may ask us a question, but that would be if this was a problem on your study guide or your test. The first part's just drawing this out just like this, okay? Then they may ask, I'm going to move it for just a second, y'all, just to see my question. There is not a question about it. Okay. Nope, that one's just sketch a normal curve. But they might just say, how many of the fish are above 15.7 in length? And what would you do with those 3 percentages? Add them together, and that's how many of the fish are above that length. Does that make sense? So they may ask you a question using this.
You had the 34.
Yeah. So if I was saying, okay, how many fish are above 15.7, you're going to say 34 plus 13.5 plus 2.35, and that's your answer. Okay? Does that make sense? That's kind of what we did like on the first part with the bar graph. This is the same every time. This right here is what changes. Some of y'all are writing it. Oops. This is what theirs looks like, just so you can kind of, they just labeled it with their 2.8. You don't have to do that. Okay, I want your percentages in here. And their graph, it's a little bit better than mine, but
34, 13.5, 2.35.
3.5. There you go. And yeah, and it goes every time, like just out that. All right? Not so bad, huh? Let's do one more of those. When we come, so all this is going to be on your midterm. When we come back from break, we're going to have, I think, a project of some sort on it. Or just some activities. Just to help us remember. Okay, this says, I'm wondering what all they gave you. Let me see. It says the heights of adult Americans are approximately normally distributed with the mean of 69.5 and standard deviations of 2.5. So here's their picture. They did 69.5, and then what did they do? They added and subtracted 2.5, right? Then they did that again. They added and subtracted 2.5. Huh? 2.5 is what they told us. They said, wait, sorry, it's right here. They said it's your standard deviation. So you just add or subtract every time. Yep, and then you do it again, and then again. You have to do that 3 times, 3 standard deviations. And every time, again, these are your percentages. So then they may ask a question. What percent are between 67 inches and 74.5 inches tall? So that is from here to here. They actually shaded that for you, right? But you would just add those 3 numbers, and that's your answer. Okay, even if you were to do research and have statistics and draw your normal curve, you would find your own standard deviation or whatever. That's what your normal curve would look like. Same percentages. And you could answer all your questions based on that. Okay? Are we good with this stuff? I mean, like, that's all. But I have you a worksheet and then a study guide. That's why I'm pushing us to get through it. Yeah, let me look at the worksheet and make sure there's nothing new on it before I give this to you. Okay, y'all, on numbers 1 through 4, they give you a bar graph. All right, you're just reading the bar graph. This was our first problem that y'all came in on. Okay, so just answer your questions based on your bar graph. Can y'all just add the numbers in the bar graph? That's all you're doing on 1 through 4. It's a tad bit different. Okay, then when you get to 5 through 8, and I'm probably just going to give y'all like even numbers to do because we'll get started on the study guide. You'll draw the little curve, okay, and then you're going to draw your 1, 2, 3 standard deviations and your mean. Same thing, I don't have it over there, but I'll put it up here. Same thing that I had drawn, all right? That's what you're going to do in this section. This one, I would say you're still going to want to draw it so you can read your graph. Same thing over and over. Y'all are just going to do the evens.
I have a bunch of makeup work to give you.
Okay, I can take that in a little bit. or when you're done. I need it by Friday. All makeup work is due by Friday
Yeah.
because of midterms being next week. Yes. Yeah, we're just going to do the evens, okay? Y'all just do the even. It's the same thing over and over again. Draw your graph and read the percentages.